In today's ever-changing and complex world, people constantly seek the true meaning of happiness and inner peace. We are caught in a whirlwind of fame, wealth, endless expectations, and invisible anxieties. But have you ever paused and asked yourself, do all of these truly bring fulfillment? Or do they only burden the mind and distance us further from our true selves? The philosophy of Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, serves as a guiding light on the path back to oneself. Through his simple yet profound teachings, he advises people to let go of unnecessary ambitions, live simply, know contentment, and cherish the small values in life. The Practical Philosophy channel aims to bring you these precious lessons, practical philosophies that can be applied immediately to modern life. Join us as we explore timeless truths through 10 lessons from Lao Tzu and rediscover balance in the soul amidst a chaotic world. Simplicity, the path to inner peace. In a world constantly chasing fame and material wealth, simple values are gradually forgotten. Lao Tzu once wrote, "The great Tao is simple, but people prefer the winding path." Indeed, people are often drawn to glamour and complexity, believing that only such things can make them stand out and affirm their worth. Yet, the paradox lies in the fact that the more they pursue superficial things, the emptier and more disconnected they feel from themselves. Simplicity is not merely a way of living, it is a state of mind. A person who lives simply does not need to prove anything to the world because they have found true value within themselves. They understand that wealth or status is not the measure of happiness but rather burdens if too much expectation is placed on them. Living simply means knowing when enough is enough, letting go of what is unnecessary, and allowing the soul to feel light. However, complexity can sometimes be cleverly disguised under the mask of false simplicity. There are those who pretend to be humble merely to earn respect and admiration from others. They do not truly live simply but use simplicity as a tool to showcase themselves. This is one of the most subtle flaws, a concealed ego masked by virtue. Lao Tzu teaches, "Those who live simply are closer to the Tao than those who chase complexity." Simplicity does not mean giving up everything but knowing how to select what truly matters. Truly happy people are not those who have the most but those who are content with what they have and who cherish the small things around them. It could be a warm family meal, a quiet morning to enjoy a fragrant cup of tea, or a genuine smile from a loved one. Try living simply by eliminating unnecessary desires. Instead of trying to please everyone, ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Instead of chasing standards set by others, live according to your own values. When you live simply, you not only ease your own burdens but also create a peaceful space for your soul. Simplicity is an art that helps you find inner peace. Don't let superficial things obscure the true essence of life. Sometimes, happiness doesn't lie in grand things but simply in the serenity of knowing that you already have enough. Giving without holding back, the true power of altruism. In life, people are often accustomed to giving with the expectation of receiving something in return. A gift must be reciprocated. A helping hand must be acknowledged. Yet, Lao Tzu taught, act without claiming credit, that is the way of heaven. This teaching reminds us that the deeper meaning of action lies not in rewards but in the spiritual value it brings. True altruism does not demand any recognition. Those who give selflessly, without seeking fame or praise, are those who have attained a noble state of mind. However, this does not mean that altruism is always properly received. There are times when generosity is taken advantage of. And this is when we need to learn how to distinguish between genuine altruism and being exploited. Ask yourself, when you help someone, are you genuinely seeking to bring good to them? Or are you merely seeking personal gratification? The motive behind every action determines the true value of altruism. If your actions are only meant to earn praise or to feel righteous, It is no longer genuine giving but simply another way to satisfy the ego. The truth is, when you give without expecting anything in return, the joy that comes from the act itself becomes purer and more enduring. It is a joy that depends on nothing external, simply arising from the knowledge that you have done the right thing. Try doing something good without anyone knowing about it. Offer a gift anonymously, or help someone without expecting them to remember your kindness. You will experience a sense of peace, a lightness that no material reward can bring. Giving is an art, the art of empathy and sincerity. Do not give to affirm your own worth, give because you truly wish to spread goodness in the world. When you can do this, you not only enrich others but also cultivate the richness of your own soul. Remember, genuine giving does not take anything away from you, it only makes you stronger. Because those who give without seeking anything in return are the ones who truly understand the value of altruism, a powerful, invisible force that can transform both the world and oneself. Conquering yourself, the most difficult but worthwhile journey. Lao Tzu once wrote, "Conquering others requires strength, but conquering yourself requires true power." Among the countless battles a person faces, none is more intense than the battle of confronting and overcoming oneself. Each of us carries inner shadows, fears, envy, weakness, or the habit of procrastination. These are often well hidden, and at times, we lack the courage to acknowledge them. But how can change happen if you keep avoiding them? The greatest challenge in life is not making mistakes but failing to admit them and learn from them. Weak people always find ways to blame circumstances or others instead of taking personal responsibility. Facing one's own flaws is the first step on the path to growth. Conquering yourself demands the courage to confront the things you don't want to admit, perhaps laziness that you justify by saying you're too busy or envy masked by false concern for others. Only when you have enough bravery to face and accept these flaws can you truly begin the journey of transformation. Reflect on moments when you felt disappointed in yourself. It might have been when you failed to achieve a goal you set or when you missed an opportunity because of an invisible fear. These failures do not define who you are, but how you confront them will determine the person you become. Facing yourself is a long and challenging journey, but it is the most valuable one you can embark on. When you conquer yourself, you gain control over your thoughts and emotions, and you discover the strength to overcome any obstacle life throws your way. Start with small steps. Admit when you are wrong. Have the courage to make changes when necessary. And never stop learning from your mistakes. Every time you overcome a personal limitation, it is a victory worth celebrating. Conquering others may bring admiration, but only by conquering yourself can you truly achieve inner peace and strength. Mastering yourself is the key to unlocking every door that leads to happiness and success. Silence is strength, the art of facing yourself in stillness. In a world that never stops moving, silence seems to have become a luxury. Every day, people are surrounded by countless sounds, work, social media, relationships, and incessant thoughts. Lao Tzu once said, "Those who know how to be silent are the ones who have conquered themselves." Yet, why is silence so difficult to grasp? Perhaps it is because silence forces us to confront the deepest corners of our soul. In the rush of life, we easily escape our true emotions by immersing ourselves in work or seeking external noise. But when everything quiets down, we can no longer avoid the loneliness, fears, or unresolved pain we have tried so hard to conceal. Lao Tzu does not advise people to abandon the world in search of absolute silence. Instead, he emphasizes that only when our mind remains undisturbed by external turmoil can we truly attain inner stillness. Silence is not the absence of sound but the ability to keep the mind calm amidst life's storms. Imagine a great storm at sea. Amidst the violent waves, only the deep ocean floor remains perfectly still. Humans are the same. If we want to find true peace, We must learn to keep our inner self unaffected by the noise outside. Seeking silence is a journey of learning to listen to oneself. Do not fear moments of doing nothing, for they are opportunities to better understand yourself. Spend a little time each day sitting quietly, not to think, but simply to feel each breath. It is in those moments that you will realize silence does not isolate you, rather, it helps you connect most deeply with your soul. Learning to be silent not only helps you regain balance but also makes you stronger. When your mind is no longer controlled by external distractions, you can overcome life's challenges with ease. After all, those who can maintain inner stillness are those who have truly mastered themselves. Truth, the essence often hidden behind the mask of words. Lao Tzu once wrote, "Those who talk a lot are not wise. Those who know how to remain silent are truly enlightened." Words are a double-edged sword. They can bring understanding but can also easily become tools for concealment, manipulation, and self-promotion. In modern society, where everyone is quick to voice their opinions, truth is sometimes buried beneath unnecessary layers of speech. People often have a tendency to talk excessively to cover up their inner insecurities. This habit is not always obvious. There are lies so subtle that even the speaker does not realize they are hiding the truth. They convince themselves with statements like, "This is for the best," or "I only want what's good for others." But deep down, the true motives may be selfishness, fear of being exposed, or a desire to assert their ego. Living truthfully is not always easy, as it requires the courage to confront oneself. Truth often makes people uncomfortable because it doesn't embellish or cater to anyone's desires. Yet, it is truth that ultimately leads to inner freedom. When you dare to live authentically with yourself and others, you will feel a sense of relief, no longer bound by the masks you once wore. Start by admitting your mistakes. Don't be afraid of making errors, as they are an inevitable part of life. Acknowledging mistakes does not make you weaker, it makes you stronger, because only by confronting the truth can you truly grow. In every conversation, ask yourself, is this truly necessary? Does it add value to the listener? If the answer is no, learn to remain silent. Timely silence not only reflects wisdom but also protects the truth from being entangled in unnecessary words. Truth does not need excessive words to prove itself. It reveals itself clearly through genuine attitudes and selfless actions. When you live truthfully, you not only free yourself from invisible burdens but also create a safe space where others can feel encouraged to live authentically as well. Life becomes lighter when you stop trying to hide the truth behind words. Let truth speak in its most natural form, through sincerity and timely silence. This is the art of living truthfully that Lao Tzu sought to convey. Simplifying, the art of restoring balance amidst chaos. Lao Tzu once said, "When you understand little, everything seems complex. When you understand much, everything becomes simple." Perhaps complexity does not lie in the nature of things but in the way people perceive and handle them. We tend to add unnecessary details, creating a tangled web that we ourselves get caught in. A relationship that initially seems simple can quickly become complicated when too many expectations are attached to it. A job that once felt ordinary can turn into a burden simply because we constantly compare ourselves to others. The more we chase perfection, the heavier life feels, as self-imposed standards make us never feel enough. Lao Tzu reminds us that simplicity is the key to unlocking peace of mind. Simplifying does not mean giving up or shirking responsibility but rather knowing how to choose what truly matters and letting go of things that only add weight to life. When you focus on the essence, you'll realize that many things you once deemed necessary were merely invisible burdens. Take a moment to reflect on your life. How many things do you do every day that genuinely add value? How many tasks do you push yourself to complete just to avoid judgment from others? When you dare to let go of what is unnecessary, You will feel a profound sense of relief from within. Start simplifying by asking yourself, what truly matters? Instead of trying to please everyone, focus on those who genuinely matter to you. Don't let past regrets or future worries cloud the present. Life is here and now. And only by living fully in the present moment can you truly experience happiness. Simplifying is also a way to free yourself from invisible pressures. Don't let societal standards trap you in rigid molds. Live in a way that feels light and natural to you. Because happiness is not about how much you have, but how you experience life. Simplicity is an art that helps you regain balance amidst the chaos. When you learn to simplify, you not only lighten your own burdens but also create space for better things to enter your life. Letting go of control, true freedom comes from releasing the grip. Have you ever felt exhausted from trying to control everything around you? From work, relationships, to future plans, everything must go according to your will. Or else anxiety and stress quickly take over your mind. Lao Tzu once reminded us, if you cling tightly, you will lose everything. If you try to control, in the end, you will have nothing. So why do we still try to hold on to things that don't truly belong to us? People often mistake control for security. They believe that if they can predict and direct everything, they can avoid risks and failure. But the truth is, the more you try to control, the more likely you are to fall into a state of insecurity. Because life operates on its own terms, independent of anyone's desires. Think about the times when you felt most stressed. It was likely when things didn't go as expected, a project failed, a relationship hit a rough patch, or seemingly perfect plans fell apart. That stress didn't stem from things not going your way but from the expectation that you could control it all. When you let go of that expectation, you will feel a great sense of relief. Letting go of control does not mean giving up responsibility or becoming indifferent. It means accepting that some things are beyond your capability and that the only thing you truly have control over is your own actions. Instead of trying to control the outcome, focus on doing your best. And then allow things to unfold naturally. This is not easy because humans naturally fear uncertainty. We want things to be clear, predictable, and certain so that we don't have to worry. But life, as described by Lao Tzu, is a constantly flowing stream. You cannot force the water to stop flowing or always flow in the direction you want. The only way to find peace is to flow with it rather than fight against it. Begin learning to let go by accepting that you cannot please everyone. This may sound simple, but upon reflection, you will realize how much energy you have spent trying to gain acceptance or please others. When you release the need to control how others feel about you, you will discover that true freedom lies in living authentically according to your own nature. Don't try to control the outcome, as results are unpredictable by nature. Instead, do your best and let life lead the way. Sometimes, the most beautiful things come from what is unexpected when you allow things to happen as they will. Letting go doesn't weaken you, it makes you stronger, for only by embracing uncertainty can you truly find peace in your soul. Humility, the beauty hidden in smallness. Lao Tzu once taught, the great ocean is vast because it is at the lowest point. And that is why it can accommodate the rivers. The ocean does not boast of its vastness, instead, it quietly accepts all streams flowing into it. For it understands that only when positioned low can it embrace all things. Humility, according to this philosophy, is not a form of self-doubt but an inner strength of one who knows how to remain calm, who is eager to learn, and who is always open to receiving new things. People often fear humility because they confuse it with weakness or inferiority. They desire attention and praise, and thus wear the shell of pride to hide the insecurities within. In contrast, true humility does not require such a shell. It exists naturally, like the silent flow of a river, quiet but enduring. More dangerous than blatant boasting is subtle arrogance. Some people display humility merely to earn respect from others. They do not truly listen but wait for an opportunity to showcase themselves. This is one of the most insidious flaws of humanity, the ego disguised under the cloak of humility, deceiving both themselves and those around them. In reality, true strength lies not in forcing oneself to prove anything, but in knowing when to step back, to yield when necessary, and to keep learning. A humble person is not someone who has nothing to say, but someone who knows what to say at the right time. Their value does not need to be flaunted, for it is already demonstrated through sincere actions and an open attitude. Learning humility is not easy because it requires the courage to face our own ego and accept our inherent limitations. When conversing, instead of trying to impose our opinions, we should truly listen. For everyone we meet has something to teach us. Do not be afraid to say, "I do not know," for this is not a sign of inadequacy but the beginning of growth. Remember that humility does not make you small, it helps you grow in a quiet and lasting way. Those who know how to bow down can raise their heads without fear of losing their worth. And only when you are truly humble can you live in harmony with yourself and the world around you. In the midst of chaotic emotions, letting go seems to be the hardest thing a person must face. Lao Tzu once said, "If you want to keep everything, you will end up losing everything." But paradoxically, the more we cling, the more we feel a sense of loss. People often bind themselves to things that no longer serve them simply because they fear losing the familiarity, afraid to face the emptiness that comes with letting go. Letting go does not mean discarding or rejecting everything, but rather it is the process of accepting that some things have fulfilled their purpose in your life. Think about the times you were exhausted trying to maintain a relationship that had lost its emotional connection, or the moments when you forced yourself to hold on to a job that no longer brought you joy. All these things are like invisible ropes binding you, preventing you from feeling at ease. Lao Tzu reminds us, letting go does not make you lose anything, it helps you free yourself. When you dare to release the things that no longer belong to you, you will find yourself lighter, more at peace. But how can we let go when our hearts are still full of regret? Start with the smallest things. Clean your living space. Remove items that no longer serve you. And most importantly, learn to let go of the negative thoughts that occupy your mind. You will be surprised to realize that letting go is not an act of giving up, but rather opening the way for new things to enter your life. When you stop clinging to things that no longer fit, you will create space to embrace what truly matters. And then, you will experience freedom, the freedom that comes from the peace of mind. Have you ever felt that life is becoming more complicated by unnecessary things? Lao Tzu once said, "The great way is simple." But instead of seeking simplicity, people often choose the winding path, only to drown themselves in petty calculations. Simplicity does not mean scarcity or giving up everything, but it is about knowing how to select what is truly necessary for the soul. We spend too much time chasing after superficial things and forget that happiness can sometimes be as simple as a quiet afternoon with a warm cup of tea. But it is difficult to simplify when we are surrounded by invisible societal pressures, always urging us to have more, be better, and outdo others. The habit of excessive accumulation is one of the things that traps people in a spiral of complexity. It is not only about accumulating material possessions, but also about accumulating expectations, unhealthy relationships, and negative thoughts. All of these gradually turn life into a burden. Eventually, you will realize that you no longer have time to feel peace, because your mind is always filled with things that are not truly important. Try slowing down. Instead of rushing after everything, sit down and ask yourself, what truly matters to me? You may be surprised to realize that the things that once troubled you are actually unnecessary. When you let go of these burdens, your mind will become lighter and at peace. Simplicity is not just a choice, it is an art that helps you rediscover your true self amidst all the chaos. Start with small things, spend time with loved ones. Savor the peaceful moments of the present. Let go of items that no longer serve you. Clean up your living space. And also cleanse your soul. Do not let the trivial things obscure the true meaning of life. When you live simply, you not only find tranquility but also discover the true beauty of life.